Let's see. Let's talk about COVID. I'm sick of COVID. But let's talk about COVID. Two things about COVID. This is just I don't know if this is serious or not, but it's so scary, despicable, that I guess I have to take it seriously just in case it's not a joke. But this is an article published in, what's the name? In the conversation.com. Conversation.com. And the title of the article is "A Morality Pill May Be U.S.'s Best Shot at Any Coronavirus." A morality pill. I mean, there's so much here that we could talk about. Right? So the idea is this. The assumption is, we all know that if everybody wore a mask and if everybody behaved responsibly in terms of social distancing, then coronavirus would end. It would be gone. It would be done, right? And the problem is that there's a bunch of people who refuse to do it. And then even though we try to force them to do it through all kinds of coercive means, they still refuse to do it. We can't control everybody. It's called the problem of non-cooperation. Some people don't cooperate. Could we get them to cooperate through what they call moral enhancement? In other words, are there drugs we could use that would encourage them to be more cooperative? Now, it's moral enhancement because the question is, could we find psychoactive substances that make people more empathetic or altruistic or cooperative? Maybe even, and this is their way of thinking about this, increase their ability to reason and think through issues long term. Thank you, Elijah. I appreciate that. It turns out that Oxycontin, the chemical that, among other things, induces labor or increases the bond between a mother and child, may cause a person to be more empathetic and altruistic, more giving and generous. The same goes for a drug called psilocybin, the active component of magic mushrooms. These substances, and according from this article, have been shown to lower aggressive behavior in those with antisocial personality disorder and to improve the ability of psychopaths to recognize emotions in others. So let's give Oxycontin or magic mushrooms to everybody. And as a consequence, they will behave more empathetically, which means they'll wear a mask. No, Jennifer, they won't want to cuddle. They'll just want to wear a mask and socially distance because the empathy was rise up. Now, the problem is that Oxycontin may also cause some people to be more pro-social. It also encourages I can't believe that we're having this conversation. Oxycontin, it turns out, appears to encourage ethnocentrism. In other words, race realism. It encourages racism. So while it encourages empathy, it encourages empathy with people who look like you. And therefore, we don't want that. That's dangerous. So we need to find a combination. We need the biotech industry to engage in creating a morality pill. And this guy says it's possible. We could find the right chemical combination, not to make us racist, but to make us love our neighbor as ourselves, to make us turn the other cheek, and to make us be responsible neighbors, and to wear masks. Indeed, to do as we are told. Now, this is the final paragraph, and this is what makes me think, is this serious? No, this is a real article. You can look this up, conversation.com. Put a morality pill and conversation.com. This is the final paragraph. And this is what makes me think maybe this is a joke. But I'm not convinced, right? Because it can't really be the case that somebody's advocating for this. But here's the final paragraph, the final part of the final paragraph. The scenario in which the government forces a morality booster upon everyone is far-fetched. But a strategy like this one could be a way out of this pandemic, a future outbreak, or the suffering associated with climate change. That's why we should think of it now. In the paragraph before this, he writes, as some have agreed, a solution would be to make moral enhancement compulsory or administer it secretly, perhaps by the water supply. Now this, my friends, is how you get conspiracy theories. So this guy is advocating, and I have no idea who this person is, for us to secretly put a morality drug, a drug that makes us more altruistic, more compliant, more obedient, more conventional, into the water supply. Now, there's so many issues here, right? If you're, in a sense, just doing it because the chemicals are telling you to do it, is it morality? Isn't morality about choice? But the fact that anybody could print this, the authoritarian nature of this, the setting us up for authoritarianism, the destruction of the human mind and human choice and human reason that this involves, the idea that somebody could advocate for doing it in secret in the water supply. It says he's an ethicist. The idea that this would be done in the name of ethics, in the name of morality. It's just so shocking, so horrific, so unimaginable. And yet we live in a world in which this can be considered. This could be considered. Unless, this is a parody of conspiracy theories, which it might be. And if so, it's pretty funny, but I wish they'd let us know that it was a parody. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable.
What we need today, what I call the new intellectual, would be any man or woman who is willing to think. Meaning, any man or woman who knows that man's life must be guided by reason, by the intellect, not by feelings, wishes, whims, or mystic revelations. Any man or woman who values his life and who does not want to give in to today's cult of despair, cynicism, and impotence, and does not intend to give up the world to the dark ages and to the rule of the collectivist brute.
All right, before we go on, reminder, please like the show. We've got 163 live listeners right now, 30 likes. That should be at least 100. I figure at least 100 of you actually like the show. Maybe there are like 60 of the Matthews out there who hate it. But at least the people who are liking it, I want to see a thumbs up. There you go. Start liking it. I want to see that go to 100. All it takes is a click of a thing, whether you're looking at this. And the likes matter. It's not an issue of my ego. It's an issue of the algorithm. The more you like something, the more the algorithm likes it. So, and if you don't like the show, give it a thumbs down. Let's see your actual views being reflected in the likes. But if you like it, don't just sit there. Help get the show promoted. Of course, you should also share. And you can support the show at JeronBrooksShow.com/support, or on Patreon or Subscribestar or Locals, and show your support for the work, for the value hopefully you're receiving from this. And of course, don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, even if you just come here to troll, or even if you're here like Matthew to defend Marx, then you should subscribe, because that way you'll know when to show up. You'll know what shows are on, when they're on. You'll get notified, right? So, yes, like, share, subscribe, support. Like, share, subscribe, support. There you go. Easy. Do one or all of those, please.